Once upon a time there was a man who was so poor that he could not raise his only son. One day the child said, "Dear father, you are always worried. Now I want to go here and there to make a living. That and number 39's better than burdening my father with worries at home." The father was very sad to see his son go. He prayed for his son to have a successful journey. At that time, there was a foreign invasion in a big country, so he volunteered to join the army and follow the king to war. His courage was tested right in the first battle. Enemy bullets poured in like rain. Many comrades died. The commander did not dare to rush forward. The remaining soldiers tried to run away. In the meantime he rushed forward, shouting loudly, "Come on, brothers! We cannot let the fatherland be defeated." Energized, the soldiers rushed forward with the left and right to break through and defeat the enemy. When he learned that he had won the battle because he was a man of great merit, the king rewarded him with a lot of money and made him prime minister. The king gave birth to a princess, beautiful in beauty, but with a strange personality. The princess swore to only marry someone who was willing to be buried alive in the same grave as her, if unfortunately she died first. She reasoned, "If your heart already belongs to me, then when I die, why ask if you are still alive?" On the contrary, if unfortunately her husband dies first, she is also willing to go to the grave with him. That strange curse terrified everyone who wanted to ask her. So enamored with her beauty, the young man no longer knew what to fear. He asked the king to marry the princess. The king asks, "So do you know what you have to promise?" He replied, "Your Majesty, I must go to the grave with her, if unfortunately she passes away first. But because I love her so dearly, I Don and number 39's care about anything." The king agreed. The wedding ceremony was held very lavishly. The couple lives together in a warm and happy situation. But one day the princess suddenly fell ill, and no doctor could cure her. When she lay down, his son-in-law remembered his old promise. The sight of having to be buried alive with her made his whole body shudder, but there was no other way. The king ordered soldiers to carefully guard all entrances and exits. He had no choice but to accept his fate. When the day the princess and number 39's body was taken to the tomb, her son-in-law was also taken down with her. Then the hatch closed and was locked. Next to the princess and number 39's coffin is a table with 4 candles lit, 4 bottles of wine and 4 loaves of bread. After eating all these things, the only way is to sit tormented and wait for death. The son-in-law is sad. Every day he only eats a little cake and drinks a sip of wine, and feels each day moving closer to death. While he was thinking, he suddenly saw a snake crawling out from the corner of the cellar towards the princess and number 39's body. He thought it was there to poke at the princess and number 39's body, so he pulled out his sword and shouted, "As long as I and number 39 am alive, you can and number 39 touch her body," and swung his sword to cut the snake into 3 pieces. Moments later, another snake crawled out from the corner of the tunnel. Seeing the previous one lying there cut into pieces, it crawled back, and a moment later it came out again, holding 3 green leaves in its mouth. It pulled and arranged several pieces of the body in snake-shaped order, to cover each place with a leaf. In just a blink of an eye, the other snake stirred and came to life, and both of them quickly slithered away. They left behind 3 leaves on the ground. Witnessing everything that had just happened, the suffering man suddenly had the thought that 3 leaves had extraordinary power and had revived the snake. Maybe those leaves could also revive him from the dead. Okay? Then he picked up 3 leaves and placed them on the dead man and number 39's eyes and mouth. In just a blink of an eye, I saw the dead man and number 39's pale face gradually turn pink as blood flowed through his veins. After a sharp breath, the princess opened her eyes and asked, "Oh my God, where am I?" The husband-in-law replied, "You are right next to me, oh dear wife." He told her the whole story, how he saved her. He gave her some cake to eat and some wine to drink. When she regained her strength, the 2 of them went out and banged on the tomb door and called out loudly. The guards heard and rushed to tell the king. The king himself opened the cellar door and saw that the princess and her son-in-law were both healthy, cheerful, and had recovered from the accident, so he was extremely happy. The concubine held 3 snake leaves and gave them to a servant and said, "You keep this treasure for me, always carry it with you, so that you can use it in times of danger." Since her resurrection, the princess and number 39's personality has changed completely. Her loving relationship with her husband in the past now seems to no longer exist. Not long after, his son-in-law wanted to cross the sea to visit his father and number 39's hometown. After the boat left the dock and set out to sea, the princess fell in love with the driver, no longer thinking about her faithful husband who wholeheartedly saved her life. Waiting for the son-in-law to fall asleep, she waved for the driver to come in. She carried the head, he grabbed the leg and threw the son-in-law into the sea. After completing the infamous deed, she told him, "Now I and number 39's going back," and said that my son-in-law had died along the way. "I will beg your father and praise you so that he will let you and I marry, and you will be the heir to the throne." The loyal servant of the son-in-law witnessed everything with his own eyes, immediately sneaked down to the small boat, sailed to find the owner, and picked him up. He took 3 snake leaves and placed them on his master and number 39's eyes and mouth. Luckily, he was able to revive his owner. The 2 masters and servants tried their best to row. Regardless of day or night, the small boat rushed, far surpassing the big boat, reaching the palace first. Seeing that only 2 people returned, the king was very surprised and asked them what had happened. Hearing the story, the king knew his daughter and number 39's cruelty and said, "I cannot believe that my daughter did that evil thing, but the truth will come to light." The king ordered the 2 to temporarily hide in a closed room and not let anyone know about this. Not long after, the big boat also arrived. The unjust woman appeared before the king with a sad face. The king asks, "Why did you come back alone? Where is your husband?" She said, "Oh my God, dear father, I have returned with great misfortune. In the middle of the journey, my husband and children fell ill and passed away. If it weren't and #39 T for this kind driver and number 39's help, I probably wouldn't and #39 T have been able to get here. When my husband and children passed away, he was also present. He would tell everything to the king and his father." The king said, "I want to bring the deceased back to life." As soon as he finished speaking, the door opened and 2 people walked out. Seeing her husband and number 39's silhouette, the woman felt like she had been struck by lightning. She fell to her knees and asked for forgiveness. The king said, "How can I forgive you? People volunteered to die with you, then saved your life. But you still had the heart to sneak up on him while he was sleeping and harm him. You must pay for your sins." The king ordered the woman and her accomplice to the boat, which had a hole in the bottom, and pushed the boat out to sea. The boat was soon submerged in the waves. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.